Well, here we are. My nerves. Okay, we're all set. Well, here we are, the last week of elimination. Thank goodness. Oh, the more I looked around, the more I had to give away, but I didn't have the energy to do a lot of it. So I've still got a chest full of old hymn books. Just when I'm giving them away, Jenny Louise's father gives me a heap more.
He wanted them.
I did. I can't let go. And it won't let go, and you know what I'm talking about with it in a minute. Jenny, you've left this book here. I can't resist. Would you like to pick a number between 1 and 114?
77.
Right. I'm not a tarot reader or anything, but I 73, 74, 75, 76. Oh, dear God, we give thanks for places of simplicity and peace. Let us find such a place within ourselves. We give thanks for places of refuge and beauty. Let us find a place within ourselves. We give thanks for places of nature's truth and freedom, inspiration and renewal, places where creatures may find acceptance and belonging. May we mend this outer world according to the truth of our inner light. And may our souls be shaped and nourished by nature's wisdom. Thank you for leaving that there. So it works. It's an impersonal name for intelligent energy. Some call it God, some personify it. Father, Mother, God, some call it Allah, but just by naming it, we're limiting it. And even today, one name turns on one turns off the other, until you can hardly speak that name without offending someone. But that's how it is. We're all at different stages of growth, understanding and consciousness, because this is a schoolroom. I don't think anyone ever lives apart from the world of opposites. You look at some of the news and you see these millionaires, they're miserable, some of them. And they've got everything there. And yet the world of opposites is what we have to learn to live with while we've got our time here in this mystery school. And it is a mystery school. And here's a terrible one. Nothing stands still. The whole of living is pushing forward. First of all, there is the unfoldment of the invisible to the visible. In other words, the coming forth of the expression of life, whatever your name you give to the expression. And the other is mankind, or humankind, unfolding in the realization of the fullness of being. The eternal progress is always taking place in our consciousness, and no one goes back. There's a little book down there. I was in here doing some meditation yesterday, and I wish someone would hurry up and take them, because there's always something there that I come up with. And here's the old one, the old chestnut of the caterpillar and the butterfly. And gee, I was in the mood for it. Look, that book's been sitting there for months, but I just sat there and I picked, that's it. Inside the caterpillar is the butterfly, the soul ready. The soul, when it's ready, will change into it. And there was a cartoonist, I don't think it was Leon, is that how you pronounce it? Lunik, I should know by now. But there's a cartoon, it wasn't him, where the butterfly and the caterpillar are having a cup of tea together. And the caterpillar says to the butterfly, "You've changed." And the butterfly says, "We're supposed to." How subtle is that? Even in cartoons, there's a message for us all. But to change isn't easy. Corinthians, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And now we're approaching rapidly the end of the year. It's time to reflect on how and if we have changed and what are we going to leave behind and what do we see for the future. Anyone that's in their 70s is groaning at the moment because we're getting old. But that's only because society tells us it's not old. We might have some aches and pains, but I look at myself and think, well, it's your own fault. You haven't been going out for a walk. You haven't been eating properly. We've all got the instructions we need if we want to sort of be healthy and happy at whatever stage of life we're in. Ecclesiastes, here we go. The thing that has been is a thing which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Now, Benjamin Franklin didn't invent electricity any more than Jesus invented the spiritual principles. Lighting is resulting of electricity which has always been available, and we just didn't know how to access it. We didn't have the consciousness. Galileo didn't invent gravity, he discovered it. And in my letting go of some of my books, I went through them and I thought, oops, I'm going to keep this one. It's a story of Marconi, the man that supposedly they call the father of radio. Well, it started just about the time of just towards the end of the Industrial Revolution. Society was getting busier and busier, and they wanted a better way of communicating. One person discovered this, Hertz or someone, another person discovered that, and another person discovered that, and another person discovered that, till the time of Marconi, and he put it all together. But that was all in the atmosphere, and it wasn't just one person that put this invention together. It was a group of people tuning in for their inspiration and sharing that inspiration. It's a wonderful book. I wish I'd have got it before I was into radio. I see commercial radio started here, I think it was in 1923. 2BL in Sydney was the first radio station, and it went rapidly from there on. And the ABC, I've heard on Classic ABC this week, they've been celebrating 100 years of radio in Australia. It's been quite interesting to hear some of the old stuff they've got out of the archives. Well, we're now moving into a time when science and spirituality are completely the same. They sound the same anyway. It's taken a while for this to arrive when, free from persecution of the church, those with a scientific mind can come up and bring these similarities together. Well, we know it's almost impossible for a mystic to write scientifically. It's impossible really to talk about a mystic experience, and everyone in this room, I'm sure, has had one, because I don't think you'd be here otherwise. And it's not a thing you can talk to many people about. I've had about 3 or 4, and that's kept me going over the years. You know, you think of these things, and I know 1 or 2 of you there, Reverend Sylvia, and a couple of others there. They've all had their mystical experiences which keep us going when the going gets tough. Meister Eckhart, nearly excommunicated for his writings, said, there's one prayer, and that is thank you. And it's a feeling, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is scientific. That is spreading good energy. And so science is giving us a secular view of how the universe evolves and works. Wayne Dyer, whose books I used to love, who sadly passed on, you believe it when you see it. And he told his stories with such great humour. As you know, he had a bald head, but there was one hair in the middle. He said, what's your secret? Why just one? But he was amazingly coherent with his writings. Now, we read of miracles happening in the olden times, but let's see what miracles can happen now. And they will, and they are. And this place is going to be one of them. It is already. And we can see this place full of people waiting and wanting to hear those wonderful Unity New Thought teachings. And we're getting ready for it because we have a bunch of new people. And one of the things about Zoom is it's brought us together nationally. And there's a couple of people in Sydney who are tech savvy and they're working on things. And the Unity National School, we didn't have this 4 years ago. We've now got students and it's nationwide. Some of you remember sitting in the manse over there at the kitchen table, 2 of us, going through a lesson on a Wednesday or Thursday night with Janet. But now there it is. You've got a group of people and the subjects are there. There's 2 years and it certainly has been an advancement which some of us here are really amazed at and pleased about. Not surprised about though. Now, I did have a few notes prepared, but, I just thought, well, I'm tired of reading from notes, so I've just got a few points. It's sometimes bittersweet to let go of something or someone that doesn't understand you or is not on the same wavelength. Not easy, but usually you find they're out of your circle after a certain period of time. And the books we were talking about, it's not easy. The old music, someone said, oh, I'm back into vinyl now, and instead of CDs, which all seem to be packing up. And there's a new way you listen to music, which I have to find about one of these days. And I thought, I'm not going back to vinyl. Whatever the next stage is, I've got to learn what it is. And books that we've got here in masses. We've all got books at home that we've underlined 10, 20 years ago. And now you look at it and there'll be hardly there's a line all through the book. Not almost, but in there. The first book I got, I think I was 18. In Launceston, the Beatles had been and gone or something, and the Maharishi was there, and I got this book. There was 2. The Maharishi book, I forget what it's called, and the other one, The Doctrine and Practice of Yoga. I think when I was about 20, I thought, oh yes, how boring. But everything is in it. Everything. And I'm just amazed at it. That's one of the books I won't give away. I think it was 1967 I got that book. And then as you read something once, at a different stage of life, it means something different at another stage. The Bible. We're very big on the metaphysical Bible here. To some, that is a revelation. It's there in front of them, but when they see what the Hebrew words mean and the spiritual interpretation, they're amazed. I remember one woman here a while back before COVID, and she just sat there, and I had to stay here for a while she just went through it. It was wonderful. She picked a name, her name Mary, I think it was, and I think she was quite impressed what her name meant metaphysically. And songs change over the years, as we all know. We had a very cheeky discussion this morning, Stuart and Beverly and I, when we were rehearsing the song, how some people get so bored with the words of the song, they change the meanings. And we won't go into it at the moment, but some of those old songs, you think, oh my goodness. But then again, the Beatles. If consciousness has to get out, it will. Who would have thought Imagine would have been an anthem? And all those other songs. And the one we had here, Turn, Turn, Turn. That was from Ecclesiastes. Means one thing at one time, it means something else at another, according to our state of consciousness. And how could we forget that wonderful music, Camelot? And there's a song in there which some people just think it's a love song. If ever I would leave you. Really, you can look at that and say it's our higher self saying, I never will leave you, and it won't let go of us. It can't. We might let go of it in those moments, and they're dark nights of the soul when we do, and we always come back round and we're back into it. Obviously with a more expanded experience. My favourite spot, the Hotel Esplanade. I went there a couple of weeks ago with a Buddhist friend of mine from Sydney, Went up onto the second floor, overlooking the sea. It was wonderful. And as we were coming down the steps, there in the main bar, there was an afternoon party. It was mayhem. And there was a guy with a guitar and all the mod gears, and there were women, you know how you dress up for the Melbourne Cup? I thought, now what are they, these people? They look like real estate agents, or they've been to the Melbourne Cup or something like that. And the women were amazing. But they were dancing around as if the world was at peace. And I thought, yeah, nothing has changed, but I have. Paul and I stood on the steps and watched them. And I thought, well, that was us years ago. That was us. We felt like that, the two angels looking down at humanity and seeing us all, you know, wine and song and all that. And it was an amazing experience because I've been there before and I'd been in that spot while others have been coming down the steps thinking, it's not worth it. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Oh my goodness, where's the time going? Okay, so all I've got to say is that we now know what it is, and we know how science and spirituality are getting back together again, and we are blessed that we have this ancient wisdom, our truth teachings here and now, and it will never leave us. Thank you.